Hi, I'm Ms. Green, and today we're going to be talking about the order of operations. All right, we're going to jump right in. If I could go ahead and get Sarah to go ahead and read that lesson objective for me. Okay, once I had Sarah to read that lesson objective, then we're going to go on to the next slide, our lesson description. Luther, if you could read that for me, that'd be wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so now we have our agenda. So we're going to do a video as a class. Then we're going to review the video. We're going to take some little chunks out of there. And then we're going to do an I do lesson, a discussion where we'll do some problems together to get ready for group activity. And then, of course, you should be taking notes throughout the entire presentation. And then you're going to have a you do practice problems. And then, of course, a you do exit slip. All right. If I could get Jaden to read Common Core State Standard for me. Okay, thank you so much. And the before and after, if I could get Matthew to read that. All right, thank you so much. Now let's go ahead and jump right into our video. All right, now that we watched our video, so here are some of the things that we can see that we should have gotten from the video. So if I could get someone to tell me, get a volunteer, for someone to tell me what our first step in the order of operations is. Okay, that's correct. Parentheses and brackets. All right, and next, what is our next step? Okay, Jaden, and that would be exponents. Good job. And Luther, what do we do then? Okay, wonderful. And Alicia, that's right, addition and subtraction. Good job. So if you'll look at it, that is giving us some um, some letters, okay? And give me just a moment. So we see the first letter is a P. The second letter is an E. The third letter is an M. And then, of course, our fourth letter is a D, and then an A, and then an S. So what does that spell? It spells PEMDAS. So that tells us how this is a unique way, nice little slick way for us to remember how to do our order of operations. Okay, it's called PEMDAS. Lisa, well, how am I supposed to remember PEMDAS? Well, can Aunt Sally help us? So the acronym PEMDAS stands for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. So P being parentheses, E being exponents, M being multiplication, D being division, and then of course A being addition and S being subtraction. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to look at a order operations problem. You said, well, we got this problem and if we look at our steps, okay, so it says first we should be looking for parentheses, okay? So we don't see any of those. Then next for our E, we should be looking for exponents. We don't see any of those. And then of course our M is multiplication. We don't see any of those. And our next one is division, so that means that we are going to go ahead and do that division first. 7 divided by 7, okay? Next, we can just work from left to right, all right? So we will go ahead and add on that 3, because 7 divided by 7 is 1, and then add our 4, okay? And now we're going to have 4 plus 4, all right? Giving us 8, okay? All right, moving right along. All right, I'm going to do one more for us. All right, so we have 1 plus 4 squared divided by 8 plus 4, okay? Now, you say, well, we have parentheses we should be looking for first. We don't see any of those, but we do see our exponent, okay? So we see 4 squared, so we know that's 16. All right, next will be, we will look for some multiplication. We don't have any of that, but since we don't have the parentheses, we can go ahead and proceed with simplifying the exponent. And we did our 4 squared, and now we have 1 plus 16 divided by 8 plus 4, because 4 squared is 16, okay? All right, next, because we don't have any parentheses, we did our exponent, we now can do our division, okay? We didn't have any multiplication. So 16 divided by 8, that gives us 2, all right? Next, we can do our 1 plus 2. We can just go ahead and work from left to right. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then, of course, 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay? All right. So when I say go, you will have 10 minutes to work on our objective here. The students, we should be able to identify and begin to follow the order of operations when evaluating these expressions that we have here, okay? So when I say go, you have 10 minutes to go ahead and complete these problems. So in other words, it gives you 2 minutes a piece, all right? So I'm going to give you a few minutes to take a look at those, and then we'll go over these as a class together. Okay. All right, now that our 2 minutes is up, we're going to go ahead and go over. So what do you think, if I could get a volunteer, what do you think our first answer is? And what is our first step there? That's correct, multiplication. Good job. All right, so what do we have for the answer there? 34. Good job. All right, Matthew, number 2, what do you think? What do we do first? That's right, 20 divided by 5. Awesome, good job. Alicia, what do we do next? Okay, excellent. So what is the answer? Absolutely, it is 1. Okay. All right, next, let's see. Brianna, what is the first thing we do? We don't see any parentheses here. We don't see any exponents. We don't see any multiplication, no division. So what are we going to do? That's right, from left to right. So we have 5. Good job. All right, so number 4. Where are we going to start on this one, Jaden? Okay. In the parentheses, that's correct. So 9 divided by 3. There you go. Excellent. All right, number 5. Any volunteers? Okay. All right, Luther, so you're saying 4. We're going to do our 3 squared first because that's our exponent. And then 4 plus 9 is 13. Good job. All right, so this is going to be a you do activity. I want you to work with your group members. When I say go, you're going to have 10 minutes to work in your groups. Group A will have number 1, Group B will have number 2, Group C number 3, and Group D number 4. All right, and so your task with your group is to determine how the students came up with the answer that they have. All right, and support your response with evidence by listing the operations in the order which the students did them. Okay, so I'm going to give you a moment. Go ahead and write that down. We have 6 plus 4 times 3 squared. Okay, now this is our grouping. Everybody will be placed in a breakout room. These will be your group members. Excuse me, your breakout room will be labeled with your group letter, so you'll know. So group A will have student number 1, group B will have student number 2, and group C will have student number 3, and group D will have student number 4. Okay. Group rules. Let's just make sure we stay on task. We're having mathematical conversations about our activity. Everybody's writing down the problem and everybody's working to try to come up with the appropriate answer. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop the lesson. Go ahead and answer some of the questions that were asked. This would go on to provide students an opportunity to do some additional practice. They will work independently and write some of their answers down. At this point, I will have a Google form for them to enter their answers in, and that way I can gauge how everyone is doing on the practice. Okay, and of course, after the practice, students will be given the opportunity to kind of review what they got right and what they got wrong. Okay, the next part of that also would be for the assessment exit ticket. That would be done on a Google form. Okay. Students will go ahead and complete that. They'll click the link and go ahead and complete that on the Google form. The students were grouped in this activity based upon their abilities. Each group had students from the exceptional and the proficient and the advanced category. They and the other students placed in the group with those high flyers were given the opportunity. That way it gave them the opportunity to learn from their peers and also perhaps hear the concept maybe a little bit differently from from the other students once they're in the breakout rooms. I believe that the engagement piece is ensuring that students know they'll be randomly called upon and also knowing that everyone is getting the opportunity to participate in the lesson. Okay. All right. That concludes my video.